Hello, and welcome to Meeple Monday. This, sorry about that. I had to adjust something real quick. Hello, welcome to Meeple Monday. I am Jaybird the Word, and I like to play games and spread joy into the community. And this week for Meeple Monday, we'll be playing another solo game, which you can play along with me and help me decide the choices in House of Danger. Choose your own adventure game. So, a little bit kind of spooky vibe today, kind of a mysterious Meeple Monday per se. We're going to have a little fun going through this story. We're going to play chapter 1 of the game. When this first came out several years ago, had a friend that got the game, and we played maybe 15% of this first chapter. So there's a lot of it I don't know. So the first card or two I might know, the rest of it don't really know about. So I'm kind of going into it, for the most part, blind. I was able to get a copy used from someone in a trade, so the components look a little used, but nonetheless, it does not mean I know the game super well. So I'll probably be referring to the rules as I play along, and just kind of in general have a little fun with the vibe, the spooky vibe, because there's a little bit of horror / escape theme type going on. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun on it, and this is based on the book by R.A. Montgomery. So if you know about the book, this should be an interesting game for you to try. So come along with me, play along, help me decide what choices we'll make as we go. Hopefully we do well and make it through the chapter without any issues. Some of what can happen is the danger level rises, making it harder for us to make it through the whole story, but we don't necessarily die if we don't make it. You kind of take a step back and choose a different option if you choose an option that takes you a bit too far into the story that you can't survive. So we're going to have a little fun with that. Try it out. So this game is going to have... what's going on with this? Trying to get that spooky music going. Maybe this playlist doesn't have enough songs on it reached, and I'll keep an eye out for that. Hopefully we can keep up this spookiness for the mystery of the House of Danger. So what we're going to do, let me switch the views for you real quick, and we'll kind of go over how this works. So the instructions itself says, as a kind of a quick start instructions, we place this game board right here in the middle with this nightmare image side facing up, and for about 2 minutes or so we get to study the image, kind of pick out clues and stuff to remember for the story, kind of things that might help us out as we start to read into the chapter and what decisions we should be making. Now granted, this may or may not help us. I can't guarantee what we see will be perfect information, or that I will see it all. If we need to, we'll come back to it, show it off again. But the other side of the board does have trackers on it, so that's why, in theory, you look at it for about 2 minutes, and then flip it over, and don't really look at it again while you're playing. So what we'll do, we'll give it a few minutes for chat to see it. I'll look at it a little bit, talk about what I see, and then hopefully we can remember those clues as we actually continue into the game. Because I will be flipping this over, showing the tracks, and then no more looking at it. Try to kind of keep the vibe like if you're at the table with me. So typically you would all look at it together. You can talk aloud what you see, what you don't see. Hopefully saying these things aloud helps everyone remember them to an extent. So like for example, I kind of see a maid in the background. It almost looks like spider webbing, glass above. I kind of see almost like an oven dial, or possibly like a safe with the third light lit up. These look like school lockers of some sort. We got goo dripping down the top edge of them. Looks like a whirlpool of some sort with the sword sticking out. Maybe an ice block. Kind of a frog. Possibly one of those poison dart frogs. looks like a heap of trash, maybe a sink over there for whatever reason. So let's see what else we can see. I see like a gas can, a bicycle wheel. Oh, of course, a building in the background. I may have to try a different playlist. This only has one good song it likes to go to with the free stuff I have. So we'll try a little bit different. What would be a good... This should work. Okay, now back to what we were talking about. So of course maybe the color of the frog comes into play being orange, or the sword itself being curved more like a cutlass with a golden handle might be important. Now it does look like there's 4 vials or something in the background up there that almost look like potions or some kind of chemical something in a lab. Who knows? So those are all things we can keep in mind as we go through and read the story and see what we can come up with and what choices we can make based on it. So now that it's been at least about 2 minutes and we've talked over this, then we're supposed to turn over this board. So we're going to turn it over. See it no more. And then we'll set it up based on the starting rules. We'll level 1, so we're going to be at the 3 on this track. Danger level is going to start down here at 3. And we're also going to have some starter kit cards. The inventory, stuff we already have a hold of. So we have a pocket knife. We get to keep the item. It does have an ability that we can use in conjunction on certain cards when we're fighting. It can give us a +1 to the die roll, it looks like. And then we also have a bottle of water. This is keep this item discard at any time to lower danger meter by 3. So this is kind of a back pocket safety item. So some of the cards are going to have us roll the dice to see if we survive something or not. And depending on how well we do, we may or may not do well. Of course, a 1 on the die is kind of an automatic fail, so we do have to watch out for that. That's always in play. Now what you can see over here, we're going to have some clue cards. We're going to have the chapter itself that we're going to be reading from as we go along. This does have a card that they call the book cover. So then you set it back on the pile so you can't read the future chapter or pages of the book. So you go 1 page at a time, read it, make decisions, because you may end up skipping chapters, jump through the book to a different part of the chapter, to different pages. Kind of like one of those choose your own adventure books where you're not reading it full front to back like a standard book. You're actually going to okay, read this chapter or this few pages and then turn to page whatever depending on what you want to do, or turn to this page if you choose this other option. So we're going to try that out. So the next we have our starter cards. We take our story cards and clues, mark chapter 1, set them in separate decks by the game board. The instructions kind of show next to this. I'm actually going to switch it, have this full screen to help show off some stuff, and then we'll switch back and forth between the screens so we can show a little bit more detail in this way. So there'll be some challenges we go through. So I think we're about ready to start the game. I don't see any reason not to. So let's get ready for our first page. So page 1, the grounds. Let's change the view for y'all, so y'all can hopefully kind of see the picture. Y'all see it kind of looks like a gate with a lock on it. Now let me read it. So it says it's a Tuesday morning in late June. Well, pretty close. It's Monday night, mid-June. So it's a Tuesday morning in late June. And you wake up in a cold sweat. The nightmares came again last night. Even though you're an inspiring detective and psychic investigator, you haven't been able to make sense of the haunting dreams you've had these past few weeks. In your dreams, you keep seeing the same spooky house. You're still shivering under the covers when you hear the phone ring downstairs in your basement. Bottom corner does say continue on back, so we'll go to the back of the card. So we hear the phone ring downstairs in the basement, where you have your combination office and research laboratory. You dash down to the lab to answer it. I need, a weak voice says when you pick up the receiver. I need your help. You hear a loud click, and the phone goes dead. But you were prepared. While the caller was talking, you activated your high-speed telephone tracking device. It instantly displays the caller's number, 555-7259. You call back the number right away, but there's no answer. After consulting the tall stack of reverse phone books behind your desk, you're disappointed to learn the number is unlisted. You sense that the phone call is somehow related to your nightmares. Later, while at the Hedgebrook police station to return a night scope you borrowed for a recent stakeout, you describe the mysterious phone call. Continue on to next story card 1. So we describe the mysterious phone call in your recurring dreams to your friend, Sergeant Morrison. That call does sound strange, he says. We'll look into it. And about that house in your dream? A voice says from the hallway. I wonder if you're dreaming about the Marsden house out on Hedgebrook Road. Detective Mercy sticks his mustache face into the room. Modern house or Nate Gate? That sounds like the Marsden's place, all right, says Sergeant Morrison. Strange things are reported to happen out there. Detective Murphy takes a puff on his pipe. That place is haunted, he says. I know it sounds unprofessional, but I've had a file on the Marsden house for years, and I'm sure of it. He waves a folder in front of your eyes, and a phone number written on the front jumps out at you. It matches the one from a mysterious phone call. So the call is related to your nightmares. Your psychic sense were right. Draw clue 26 to discover your goal. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to find clue number 26 in the pile of clues. We'll show off what it is. So, Chapter 1 goal. Get inside the Marsden house. It says to place this card in the goal slot above the psychic scale while playing the chapter. So that would be by the board right here. You're supposed to place it right here above. I'm going to do this so we can see that for now. So our goal, get inside the Marsden house. I think we can try to do that. Pretty straightforward, don't you think? Let me know what you think. So, back to the story. Back at home, you grab a bottle of water and your trusty pocket knife. Half an hour later, you stand before the Marsden residence, which appears exactly as it did in your nightmares. The house's futuristic look is a strange contrast to the antiqued appearance of the stone wall and the wrought iron gate, which is locked shut and wrapped in steel chains. Even though the air is balmy, a chill travels down your spine. The gathering clouds on the horizon hint at a brewing summer thunderstorm. So here's our first choice to make. We can either, if you search the wall for a way in, we can go to story card number 13. Or if we just climb the gate, go to story card 7. So what do y'all think? What should we do? If you're in chat, listening along, playing along, let me know what you want to do. I think either way, it's going to be an interesting result. So we could either search first, or we just go direct to climbing. Now, I don't know about you. I've never been great at climbing gates. I would typically search first at least. Because who knows, you could maybe just walk in instead of having to climb something. So I'm leaning towards searching. So, unless anyone objects, I'm going to search the wall for a way in. And I will go to story card 13. So what we do, I should have left this one face up, and now this next one is going to go face up with the number showing in case we have to backtrack at all. And then I will go find story card 13 in this stack. All these cards are numbered in the top corner. Try not to give away too much by not reading anything else. Keep them covered. So what we did is we're going to search for a way in instead of trying to climb the gate. So here is story card 13. Moving along the mossy stone wall that surrounds the property, you come across a jagged opening created by fallen rocks. It's just big enough for you to squeeze through. Once on the other side of the wall, you find yourself standing in a cobblestone plaza surrounded by marble and bronze figures. Most of the sculptures depict men gazing off into the distance as if pondering the deeper meaning of it all. But at the edge of the courtyard is a monumental statue of a man atop a muscular steed. To your right, a stony pathway leads away from the statuary and into a picturesque garden where topiary bushes have been trimmed into whimsical shapes. Back of the card shows the statue and the large steed. So here's our next choice. We can inspect the statue of the man on the horse, or we can walk toward the topiary bushes. Well, again, we've searched. Why not search again? Can searching be much harm instead of just passing by everything we do? If you disagree, tell me. But I'm leaning towards inspecting this statue to continue our search method here. So I'm going to inspect the statue. So that means I go to story card 4. We turn this back over, leave the number face up, and find our next story card. Story card 4. The horseman is a dashing, bearded Civil War soldier, his bronze face stoic. He holds out a cavalry saber towards the brooding sky. The sword's edge glints in the weak sunlight, then penetrates the thickening clouds above. The sword looks almost new. At the base of the statue is a plaque that proclaims this as a memorial to Henry Marsden. The plaque reads, Henry Marsden, born 1839, died 1887, general in the Union Army during the Civil War, severely wounded at the Battle of Shiloh in 1862, appointed warden of Hedgebrook Prison in 1880. To your left is the entrance to a hedge maze. To your right is a graying picket fence with a rickety wooden gate. You can see 2 stone angel statues, and beyond them, a cemetery. So, we have some optional things going to do now. So if we read the back of the story card, we have 2 optional things. These are choices we can bypass, or we can directly choose to do them before continuing. Optional challenge 1. Search the monument's base. If we win, we get to draw a clue card. If we lose, we raise the danger meter. So, we want to do that before we move on to the second, if we're going to do it. So, I don't see why not continue to examine stuff. The danger meter is still relatively low at the moment. We're still all the way at the bottom at 3. So that means when we roll the dice, anything 3 or above is a pass. So I see very little danger in continuing to push forward with our search. So I'm going to choose to search the Monion's base. If you disagree, let me know in chat. Or if you would not have done this, tell me why. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the die. I'm going to roll it here on camera for you. So that's a 4. That's an automatic pass because you needed the same or higher of the current danger meter level, which shown on here, down here, we're at 3. So that's a pass. This is to draw clue 18, which we're going to do now. I feel I'm leaning out of screen and should be more over here. So clue 18 is, oh, that's some small print. Maybe y'all can see it with me. So bonus story choice. When you inadvertently press a hidden switch, the statue slides to one side, revealing a cement passage. Place the new story choice below at the bottom of story card 4. This option may be considered when you are ready to make your story choice. Okay, so that would have us put it here right below the card stack, giving us more choices before we move on to the next part. Now before we go down here, we do have another optional challenge that would allow us to climb the statue to examine the saber. If we win, we would draw another clue. If we lose, we'd raise the danger meter by 2. But you're allowed to try again. So after challenges, make story choice below. So here's the hard decision we have to make now. I've talked about and I've directed us in a way that I talked about. I'm not great at climbing. I want to search everything, kind of the safer route. But when we looked at the back of this board, which had, I guess, our nightmare stuff on it, one of the main things was a saber right down the middle of the picture into the pool. And this saber on this statue sounds exactly like that picture. So I'm having a very hard time not climbing now, even though I've said we probably shouldn't because we want to stay safe. But it's another clue. It seems to match what we've been looking for. I don't see a reason not to climb. Except, of course, it's dangerous. And if we mess up, we're really increasing that danger meter. But what's playing the game without taking a few risks? Nothing says if we mess up that we can't move back, try again at some other point, and play again. Even though we know some of the story, we won't know all of it. So I'm going to climb this statue. Now here's wishing me good luck, and rolling, and a 6. Complete success. No issue here, because again we needed 3 or higher when rolling. I guess I could verify the rules. Okay, so occasionally you can add challenge booster cards down here For example, if we were doing a physical fight with the green symbol, I could have put the pocket knife down here and added it to it, but we didn't have those, so still a complete success. And we get clue number 2 now. Try not to drop those and flip them. Clue number 2. Ooh, the cavalry saber. The saber comes loose in your hand. It's heavy and quite sharp. Your psychic sense tells you this is an important item. Keep this item. Move forward 2 spaces on the psychic scale, and then finish story card 4. So here's another item we have. So we now have a pocket knife and the saber. It says to increase our psychic level by 2. So instead of level 1, 3, we're now at 5 for the psychic meter. Now that did not give us an additional choice for the end of the card, so we currently still have 3 options as we end this card. Now the card itself says, if you enter the hedge maze, go to the story card 12. Or you can visit the cemetery. Or our extra option is if you want to see where the hidden passage leads. I don't know about you. You don't often see hidden passages. And we're trying to get inside. So, typically a passage will go inside somewhere. So maybe this will get us inside the house. Is that bad logic? Maybe, maybe not. But we have the option. We found a passage. I want to explore it. If we really mess up, like I said, we try to come back. But for now, I want to follow the passage, which gives us story card 28. Okay, so because we went to the next card, we're going to flip that over so we remember the number. We'll keep this down here, out of the way, in case we go back to, actually kind of slot it there so we remember it's with that card. It's up to you how you would do it if you were playing yourself. So, story card 28. We chose to explore the passage. You creep through the darkness and find the cement walls end as natural stone and earth begin. Occasional vents to the surface let in just barely enough light to see by. Ahead, you glimpse the warm firelight of torches. You come to a fork in the tunnel, lit by the dancing flames. One tunnel descends deeper and is half filled with water. You could swim through it, but you can't see where the tunnel leads or how far it goes. Another tunnel looks partially caved in. Tiny clumps of earth periodically fall from the ceiling as you approach this tunnel, and several of the supports that hold the walls up have gaping cracks in them. Here is our picture of the tunnel. So, we can either dive into the water-filled tunnel or explore the partially collapsed tunnel. This one's a bit tricky. Seems both have dangerous options. What would you choose? Let me know. This is water-filled. You can't really see, but you can swim. The other one seems to be falling, so it's hard to really know. Well, we know it was getting later at night. We have a pocket knife. We have a saber. We have some water. We probably don't need the water. Well, we don't need to get wet yet. It's a bit early in the night. So let's go to the partially collapsed portion. This may be our undoing, but I'm going to try to go to story card 16 with that choice. Okay, and like before, we turn this back over so we can see the number at the top. So in case something terrible does happen, we know what number we're on and what to go back to. So, story card 16. With that warning, the earthen walls begin to collapse around you. Before you can react, you're up to your waist in dirt. You writhe and twist, trying to escape, but it only causes more soil to cascade down. Soon, it's up to your shoulders, then your neck, then your cheeks. You struggle to spit the soil out as it fills your mouth, but within moments you are fully buried. You can only see the dark earth in front of your eyes. Your hand closes around a metal disc, perhaps a coin. You'll never know, though, as the soil fills your lungs, and the world wavers and goes gray before finally turning black. No. The end. So, like I said, dangerous options. It's a dangerous game, a dangerous book. Sometimes the choices you make will be your last. So, in this case, it says the end. We move back one space on the psychic scale, boop, and return to the previous card. So in this case, we take this card, we can set it aside, knowing we can come back. And hello, Jess. How are you today? Thank you for the drive-by hi. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're prepping an amazing dinner. I am having a wonderful Monday. Nice, simple, relaxed. Almost somewhat horror-themed as we play House of Danger, the choose-your-own-adventure game. You came just in time to see my first death or end, and that we're going to step back and try some different choices. Let me know if you've played this game before. If you haven't, there could be a few minor spoilers. Again, I've never played this, at least alone. I've played like 2 or 3 cards several years ago, so I had not played through it. So I decided, might as well play it on stream, because it comes in 5 chapters in this main game. And so we're playing chapter 1 tonight. Hopefully we can get through it without dying with all the different choices. As you probably, like I said, and you may have just saw, the first end. We met our first end by being buried alive in some soil in an underground tunnel. So it'll be some minor spoilers. I may be far enough in, multiple choices in already, that you may go in a completely different direction, even in this first chapter, that you may not see half of what I do tonight. But again, if you don't want anything spoiled, if you intend to play it on your own, I completely understand. Yeah, exactly. Death. We had the choice to, so we're in this tunnel. One end of the tunnel was water-filled and dark, where we couldn't see where we were going. Another fork of the tunnel was, you could see some falling dirt, and it was really very loose and potentially dangerous, and we decided it was early enough in the game, we didn't want to get wet and go swimming, because our goal is to make it inside the house. So we got into the yard, we found a statue, we found a secret tunnel under the statue. We also picked up a saber on the way, because we climbed the top of the statue and took it off the statue for whatever reason the story has you do. But yes, we chose it that way. But yeah, we kind of walked into our own burial per se. But this game allows you to kind of step back. You kind of lose a little bit on some of the scale, and then you can go back and make a different choice. So the game isn't truly over. You just get to experience some of the different endings for the game. So what we're going to do, like it says step back. When you do an ending, step back to the previous card and choose the other option. So we're going to do that and draw the other card this time. And this chapter is about 30 cards total. So you're not likely to see them all. And we've drawn, what, 6 cards now? So it just shows how fast you can potentially die in this game. And so I drew the other option now, which is dive into the water-filled tunnel. And we'll read off the chapter card now. So mustering all the courage you can, you dive into the watery tunnel. There is just enough room in the tunnel above the water for you to lift your head between strokes and take a breath. Eventually, the tunnel drops lower and lower until it's completely submerged underwater. You hold your breath, dive down, and look around. After about 30 feet, the tunnel opens up to a bigger body of water. A pond or a pool with sunlight beaming into it. Pop up for air. Well, I've come this far, you think. You're ready to chance it. Take a deep breath and dive back down. You get 10 feet in, 15 feet in, 25 feet in. Just as you're about to exit the underwater tunnel, something tugs on your leg. You can't tell if it's an animal or if you're caught in an underwater vine. So on the back of the card, now we have a required challenge. So throughout the game there are some challenges, different types, be it physical, mental, and other such challenges depending on the color on here. So we do have some cards that can affect those if we have the matching symbol. This challenge is required. We have to fight to escape. So typically when you do these challenges, you roll the die and then you base it on the danger meter. Currently danger's all the way down at 3. So as long as you roll a 3 or better, you pass the challenge. Now this is a physical fight challenge. We do have our pocket knife and the saber already, so we might as well use them because you get to keep them. You don't lose them once you use them. Or let me make sure if some, I know some of these you don't keep, like you keep the starting ones depending. So you may only use one challenge booster card in a challenge. Before you roll, you place the item over here to verify you're using it, and then it comes back to your inventory, so you don't actually lose the cards. So we're going to add our Cavalry Saber, which gives us a +2 to the die roll. So in this case, it does have the roll. If you roll a 1, it's kind of an automatic fail, which we rolled a 3. So +2 is a 5. That's an easy pass considering we needed at least a 3. Put this item back over here. Let's make sure if there's anything else we do. Yeah, so if we had rolled a 1 while using the item, we would actually lose the item as well. So for right now, we're doing pretty well. So if we win, we draw clue 20, which we won. So we're going to get that clue number 20 from the stack and read what it says. If we had lost, we'd raise the danger meter and try again. So this game comes with the 1 die. Pretty much exactly what you need. I'll switch my view real quick so you can see the other components. So it actually comes with this game board and a couple of simple plastic pieces that you keep on the track because of the scale of everything. And the back of this is actually printed because you've been having nightmares and dreams. And this is kind of like, you look at this for a couple of minutes before you actually start the game. And then you try to remember what you saw in this picture as you go through the story. Because this is kind of your psychic dream. So our current goal for the chapter is up here. We've been tracking our psychic level, which we raised a little bit, lost a little bit. So we're currently at 4. Still at the lowest danger level because we have not rolled low yet on anything. So yeah, it's a pretty simple, straightforward game in the components, but they've put a lot into the story, so it really is like one of those choose-your-own-adventure storybooks. But instead of like flipping pages to a different in the same book, it's all bound together. You have cards, and you're actually rolling for certain things, holding on to items. So, clue number 20 that we just drew. The thing, whatever it is, wraps more tightly around your leg. It's pulling you down. Another tendril or tentacle slides around your neck. You pry it off. And with the last of your strength, you give a powerful kick. And you're free. Just like that. The thing is gone. You emerge into a swimming pool with a lush pool house next to it. Bottom of the card says, lower danger meter by 2 and go to story card 23. So if our danger meter had been any higher than this, we'd actually be able to lower it. And then we draw, let's see, card 23. So now that was a story clue card, it's basically going to go to a discard pile. Which I'm going to put it within this because it shows us where we've been. And I'll read the next card. So, story card 23. After coming up the pool into the pool house. It's obvious that nobody has cleaned the pool in ages. The water is a murky green, and the surface is littered with leaves and branches. Ripples pulse outward from the center of the pool. Out of nowhere, you hear a commotion. You look around and wonder if it's coming from inside the pool house nearby. Then you see movement on top of a gazebo in the distance. Someone, or something, is engaged in a struggle up there. Maybe they need your help. Then again, if you offer assistance, you might end up needing help yourself. So, here we have an optional challenge. We can investigate the ripples in the pool. If we win the challenge, we would lower the danger meter by 2, which is already at the lowest, and we draw a certain clue card. If we lose the challenge, we'd raise the danger meter by 2, and we're allowed to try again. After the challenge, we'd make a story choice. Now, granted, I think we kind of already know what's at the bottom of the pool. That's just sounds dangerous to do. So, unless you want me to, I'm going to say that optional challenge we pass and don't do. Let me know what you would do. So this is considered a co-op game where everyone makes choices together, and then typically you're taking turns reading the next card, and then if everyone can't agree on something, the person who read the card makes the final choice. Of course, I'm playing it on here with all of y'all, so in a way I make the final choice every time, but I want to... So yes, pass. So what we're going to do, we go to the bottom of the card. So we have the choice to either go to the pool house or go straight to the action at the gazebo. This is where our paths diverge and we really make a choice. And it tells you which card to go read next, depending on where we want to go. So do we want to go to the pool house, or do we want to go straight to the action at the gazebo and possibly be in more danger? Now, if it's a physical fight, we do have a slight advantage in that we've already picked up the saber that gives extra to our die roll when fighting, but it's not guaranteed again. So let me know what you would pick. If you want, I can read again what we saw at each location. So we can either, we heard a commotion, and we look around and wonder if it's from inside the pool house that's actually nearby, or we see the movement on top of the gazebo in the distance. So gazebo. So with the gazebo, we're going to go story card 9. Okay, it's a little bit shorter on this one, but not a big deal. Sometimes that's helpful, sometimes it could be worse. So you sprint to the gazebo, practically pushed along by the winds that are picking up. The light sprinkling of rain spatters the ground as you run. You make it to the shelter of the structure, and the mayhem occurring above you on the roof increases in intensity. Who is up there? And what are they doing, you wonder? You notice a driveway about 20 feet away. So we have a premonition. If you are level 2 or higher on the psychic scale, we would get to draw a clue. We're currently at level 4, so we get a clue. Great choice, Jess. Bringing us closer to getting more clues and potentially items. So this is clue 27. So our premonition. Oh, it's actually a picture. Now it's a little hard to tell to know which direction this is supposed to be, so I'm just going to flip it directly from the height of the clue card. To me that looks like it's the edge of a door with a door handle and a keyhole. And the door might be partially open because you can see the edge of it. Definitely interesting to see that. So I'm going to put that with our items because that is a premonition. That is something we've seen, something we can kind of remember. And then we go to the bottom of the card where we make another choice. We can climb to the top of the gazebo, or we can run to the driveway. So we can either basically climb in the rain and potentially get into a fight, or we can kind of run to the driveway, maybe get a view of what's going on. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Let me know what you would do. Would you play it safe, or do you fight and potentially protect someone or hurt someone? Well, I don't know which way it goes. Now, we've already had 2 choices before about climbing. The first one we did not decide to climb, and the second one we did climb. When we climbed onto the statue, we grabbed the saber, but we did not climb the gate when we arrived outside of the Martson house to get into the property. Climb, I'll always choose the risky options. Fair enough, fair enough. I've kind of tried to strike a bit of a balance, but yeah, why not go risky? It's kind of go big or go home. So we're going to climb to the top of the gazebo, and the story card is 10. So here's what happens. You stand on the gazebo's railing, steadying yourself by gripping an ornate post holding up the roof. The rumbling above sound and feels frightening. What are you getting yourself into? Reluctant to barge into the middle of the situation, you raise yourself just enough for a peek. You discover that there is no one on the gazebo roof. The commotion is actually a large satellite dish, broken into 3 pieces. The big, jagged fragments are still connected to the base by wires, and the violent winds are spinning them in a circle with great force. Flailing wildly like an angry octopus, the satellite dish almost hits you in the face, you might be able to grab a piece zooming by. So, required challenge, so we will have to roll this one. Attempt to grab a piece of the satellite dish. So let's just roll, because there's a win and a lose. Clue card either way, but we're going to roll. Remember, we're currently at a 3 for the danger meter. We need 3 or more to pass. We've done well all night, passed everything. Let's not jinx it now. And, of course, I said that and jinxed us. So we're going to see what happens here. So first, let me verify in the book instructions if anything extra happens on a 1 rolled. So if you roll a 1 on any challenge, you lose automatically, even if you're using a challenge booster. We didn't use any challenge booster cards, or we would lose those. Let's see, I think... Yep, so we just go to the lose condition, draw clue 17. If we get hurt, I blame Jess. She did decide to climb. But of course, I rolled the die, so you can blame me too. So, the card we get for losing that is... Your fingertips graze a piece of the satellite dish, but you can't quite grab it. You reach too far, lose your balance, and tumble from the gazebo and down a short hill. Your confusion from the fall slowly subsides, and you hear the sound of a beautiful violin nearby. You stumble off in the direction of the music. We will now raise the danger meter by 2. And go to the specified story card. So we're raising the danger meter by 2. We're still at 3 for now, but we're at any more increase, it will go up to 4 and more. And card 17 is next. Well, we're at least having an adventure, regardless if that was unfortunate what happened. So you move farther and farther toward the hypnotic sound of the distant violin, which is oddly calming and uplifting, even as the winds increase around you. You notice there's a driveway up in the distance, but before you get there, you arrive at a horse stable with an open gate. Inside, sitting on a stool, the source of the violin music. A chimpanzee playing his heart out, a soulful expression on his face. The chimp is fully committed to the music. You have never heard such an emotional performance. It's beautiful. Now, admit it, did you see that coming at all? Would you have expected that? A chimpanzee playing a violin. And we even get a picture. I'm just going to sit here and admire that, because this whole story just took a dramatic twist. All thanks to Jess saying we should climb the gazebo and take a risk. So now we have 2 choices. If you leave the stable and run to the driveway, we get a certain card. So we can leave the stable and run to the driveway. Or, if you tiptoe through the gate to experience the full power of the performance, go to a different card. So, we're basically, we can have a choice to, exactly, the plot thickens indeed. So we essentially have the choice to leave and run to the driveway, kind of circling back to the other choice we didn't make before, because we didn't go to the driveway, we climbed. Or we can continue on this different path and tiptoe into the gate to really experience the full power of this performance. Now, admittedly, I've never seen a chimpanzee play a violin, let alone any instrument. So this is one experience I don't think I would want to miss. I would opt to tiptoe in and hear just a bit more of what's happening here. I think I want to continue down this risky path that Jess has sent us on. What do you think, Jess, or anyone else in chat? Let me know what you would do. Yeah, continue onward. Okay, so let's do it. So, card 24 this time. You tiptoe through the open gate, eager to hear the finale of the chimp's violin piece. Quietly, quietly. With your third step, you trigger a motion sensor light that completely illuminates the interior of the building. Apparently, this is no stable. It's a kennel. 20 Doberman pinchers were peacefully enjoying the concert, but now they glare at you with anger in their eyes. The chimp frowns and slowly points his violin bow toward you. The Dobermans respond and rush to attack you, and then eat you alive. The last thing you see is the chimpanzee violinist laughing at your fate. So embarrassing. The end. Well, again, part of that unexpected sight of the chimpanzee with the violin definitely led to an unexpected experience. So we have found another ending. So, just like the other ending, it tells us to move back a space on the psychic scale and return to story card 17. Yeah, wait, what? Yeah, exactly. That's how fast this game can turn on you. And it's interesting. Sometimes that safe choice is the better choice for this game. So we move back on the scale and return to story card 17. So this card would get discarded. And then we have to choose the... Yeah, exactly. That escalated quickly. Death by dogs. So then we go to the other story option that we didn't choose. And we're finally going to go to the driveway. And let's see, that was story card 30. Oh, so card 30 is Chapter 1, Goal Achieved. And on that note, your dinner awaits. Have a good night. Thank you for dropping by, Jess. And you're stepping away just as we complete our goal. So well timed. I do hope you have a wonderful evening. I hope you enjoy your dinner. And that your week is exciting, full of gaming and joy. So thank you. So, Chapter 1, Goal Achieved. Because we ran to the driveway finally. After some unique experiences along the way. So you appear in a driveway, which leads you to the mansion's entrance. On the door is a plaque that reads, Marsden, and a large crystal door knocker, which seems newer than everything else on the front of the building. You knock loudly, many times, but there is no answer. The storm is really picking up now. Try the doorknob and are surprised to find that the door is unlocked. You've been lucky enough so far, but you wonder if you've missed something. Before you enter the house, you look back. You can see a few clear paths. One leads towards a statuary, another to a small cemetery. 2 more paths stretch out toward a watery ditch at the gate, and the house's luxurious pool. You could go back to explore if you want. So, story return. There are items in this chapter that will be useful later in the story. You can take a risk and go back for any you missed by following the choices below. Otherwise, you can advance Chapter 2. Keep all inventory items. So we could have the choice to head to the statuary, raise danger meter by 2, if we do so. Now, we don't need to worry about doing that because we've already found the tunnel and grabbed the saber at the statuary. So I don't think we need to go there. We could head to the cemetery, but again, we would have to raise the danger meter by 2. We did not go anywhere near there. So there might be something important there. We could head to the ditch. Again, raise the danger meter by 2. Oh, we kind of circumvented the ditch by not climbing the gate. We could also head back to the pool. Again, raising the danger meter. Now, we didn't explore the pool to its full depth, but we did come through it, swim through it, fight off the octopus. Or what we thought was the octopus. So, oh, that's kind of tricky. We could either really go back, really risk some danger, because let's just see how many cards we didn't go through, and how many we did go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So there are 18 cards we did not read out of 30. So we've only seen a small, 12 out of 30? To what? 12 times 3, 30, maybe 40% of the story. If that. So there's a lot that we missed. So we could definitely go back, but it becomes a lot more dangerous. Or we press forward, hoping we're okay. And this would allow us to play the game another time. So what I'm going to choose to do, unless I hear differently in chat, is I will not go back. I want to move forward to Chapter 2, or at least wrap up this chapter, and say we're good here. And hopefully we have enough items for the future. And this would allow potentially another playthrough at another time. So, if you enjoyed what you saw, let me know what you enjoyed about it, if you liked me reading it off this way, if you liked how I presented it, if the choices I made would have been your choices. And we'll be sure to play this again sometime soon and continue with Chapter 2. So I'll be taking a picture. Of course, I can go back to the recording, make sure. So we'll set this up the same, because all these items and premonitions we have had, we get to keep when we move on to Chapter 2. So I'm liking the thought that I save this set, and then we can try Chapter 2 at another time. So with that, we're just at over an hour streaming today. I'm going to switch over my view so I can talk to you face to face again. So I've been streaming for a little over an hour. Typically on Monday nights I stream for about an hour or two, depending on what I play and what I'm presenting. Now granted, I have a lot of streaming going on this week, so I'm thinking a shorter night tonight, so then I can prepare for the rest of the week and really show off the games that we have coming up. So, if you want to know what the schedule is like, the rest of the week I'm actually joining Chris, the charity board gamer, where I typically co-host and play D&D and other shenanigans and charity streams. We have a lot to share this week. So, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern over on his channel, we'll be continuing our D&D game of Daubers, which Splattered Ink, Daryl, our DM, is also the creator of Daubers universe. It's a setting that fits into D&D 5e, They're basically super short characters, on average 1 to 2 feet tall. Some talking animals. We have a raccoon in our party. So we're continuing our adventures there. Currently, we're saving a bee farm from basically seeds that a rat clan has put into the ground, poisoned, which starts an increased decay process. So you can join us and watch along for that. We stream and raise funds for... I'm blanking on the charity at the moment. It is a charity that is really important to Daryl, our DM. So funds raised during that can go to affect our game and to support the charity itself. More information if you join us. We have all of the links and whatnot on the Charity Board Gamers Twitch page. Thursday nights at 8:30, I join to co-host with Chris after the show gaming, where we typically play a game together, be it digital, Zoom, or whatever it may be, a lot of times with other people in the board game community, streamers, and what we call our board game family, because together we are family. Because we want to support and be there for each other, and it's not just about the games, it's about living life together however we can. So I join him at 8:30 p.m. on Thursday nights after the show gaming. I'd have to verify what game we're playing this week, but it's always a fun time no matter what. Majority of the time it's something new, either currently on Kickstarter, coming to Kickstarter soon, or something just recently released. Then this coming weekend, Friday, from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, we're starting our charity stream for Cactus Cancer Society, also known as Lacuna Loft, where we'll be playing where a different games company has sponsored us for every 2 hours of gaming. So I'd have to verify what all games we got going on, but we're starting that on Friday with 8 hours, getting up Saturday morning, starting at 10 a.m., going through midnight on Saturday with a lot more gaming going on. And then wrapping up on Sunday, Chris wanted to spend his Father's Day playing games with his family and his kids. And so Daryl of Splattered Ink Gaming has agreed to do a small one-shot D&D game for Chris and his family. And I will be there already at Chris's house as part of the stream. And so I will be a behind-the-scenes DM's assistant, per se. Well, I won't be playing, but you'll probably see me, hear me, as I help his kids learn the game and play along, and kind of, because Daryl will not be with us, so he'll be over Zoom, and so I'll kind of be his hand at the table. So if you're interested in any of that, feel free to jump on, watch along, hang out and chat. Support us as you can. Of course, if you're able to and willing, support me, be it through your Prime subscriptions, because you always get a free one every month. Follows, earning those channel points, showing me the support there and how you spend them. Following me on other social medias, helping support me through Ko-Fi. And even I have some merchandise of Play Games Spread Joy, so you can play games and spread joy in your community and spread the message of being inclusive and welcoming to the table as we enjoy our favorite hobby. So with that, I'm going to prepare to end the stream tonight. I do hope everyone has had a wonderful weekend, wonderful Monday, and is prepared to have a wonderful week. So, as always, I leave you with this. Play games and spread joy.